Everyone, my name is John Cottrell of MBODY Yoga in Salt Lake City. Welcome. This is a power yoga class. So this is a 60-minute power vinyasa yoga practice. So what does that mean? That just means that we're going to be moving with breath, And I've got a sequence that I've put together for you, and I've simply called this a hip release series. That means we're going to do a lot of hip openers, in this practice. And we're just going to have some fun with this too. So what you'll need for your practice today, of course, your yoga mat. Go ahead and roll that out, get some bottled water. Feel free to take a break anytime during the practice, get a sip of water if you need to. Perfectly fine to do. And for your props, we really don't need too many props today. I like to have a couple of blocks. I won't be teaching with them primarily or specifically in this class, but they do come in handy if you like to use them. And I think that's about it. But if there's any other props that you like to use for your yoga class, like a blanket or a strap or a pillow, anything like that, go ahead and grab those and just insert them into your practice as well. Okay, it's time. So let's go ahead and start our practice together. We're going to begin in mountain pose. So just come to the top of your mat. For the first part, I'm going to be facing you, and then I'm going to be turning sideways. So your feet are about hip distance apart with your toes pointing forward, and this just creates a nice alignment and balance in the lower half of the body primarily, and we get a nice connection here too. So just feel the ground underneath you. You might take a few breaths in and out. Nice deep breaths. You might breathe in through your nose. You can exhale through your mouth if you'd like. And a little roll of your shoulders, just a nice release. And just continue with some slow, steady breaths. Breathing in and exhale. Nice. And now just some focus on the upper half of the body. You just want to feel the nice lifting and lengthening of your spine. Feeling very tall. So when you breathe in, you want to feel the expansion of your lungs. Breathe in deeply and fill your lungs. Then as you exhale, draw your navel inward towards your spine. We call that the abdominal lock. That's just a light contraction of your abdominal muscles. So again, a nice breath in, feeling tall, lengthening of the spine, fill up your lungs. Good, exhale, draw navel to spine, that nice connection. So just keep breathing here, just holding in stillness. Feel free to close your eyes if you'd like, or just soften your gaze. You might be looking forward or slightly downward. We like to take this opportunity just to move inside of ourselves, find stillness and calm and ease, preparing for our moving practice. It's also a nice time to create your intention. If you have a personal intention for your practice today, just bring that to mind and to your heart. Listen to the sound of your breath. Very nice. Go ahead and take 3 more slow breaths in and out as a way to prepare your body to move. And when you're ready, inhale and extend your arms overhead. Treat it like a nice stretch. Reach all the way up. Exhale, we'll fold forward, so a good hinge from your hips. Bend your knees as much as you need to as you make your way down, perhaps touching your toes or the ground. Inhale, slide your hands up to your shins, knees, or your thighs to extend your spine, only rising up halfway. Then exhale, just fold again, back down we go. Just a few moments here. If it feels okay, go ahead and hang heavily forward. Sometimes we call this ragdoll. So you just kind of get this looseness in the upper body. You can even kind of shake out your arms, your shoulders, little movement in the head and neck. Some deep breaths, even a little sway left and right. Since we're going to be working with some hip release, this might feel good through the low back, around through the hips. From here, shift your weight back into your heels.
Bend your knees, feel like you're going to sit down. Your hips are coming down and look forward. Extend your arms out to the side. Drive your heels into the floor to stand up tall. Reach into the air, big stretch. Then exhale, bring your arms down by your side. So that's our half salute to the sun. We're just going to do that one more time, same series. Here we go. Inhale, extend your arms all the way up. Big stretch, energy through your fingertips. Exhale, hinge at your hips, fold forward, bent knees, make your way down. Inhale, sliding your hands up to your shins or knees, extending your spine. The crown of your head leads forward. Exhale, back down to your forward fold. Pause for a moment. Then shift your weight back towards your heels, bend your knees, look forward, spread your wings. Inhale, stand up tall, straight legs, reach nice and high. This exhale, you can bring your hands together and down to your heart. We'll hold here for a couple of breaths. So that's just a nice introduction to movement, moving with breath. Reconnect to your breathing. And we'll continue with our sun salute. Series A. Inhale, sweep your arms out and up. Exhale, lead with your heart. Fold forward, soft knees. Make your way down. Inhale, rise up halfway. Again, the top of your head leading you forward, flat back. Exhale, bend your knees enough to bring your hands to the floor so you can step or walk both of your feet back, drawing a straight line in your body. Plank pose. Breathe in. As you exhale, bend your knees a little, send your hips up into the air, moving into downward facing dog. So it's our inverted V shape. We'll hold here for several breaths. Make any adjustments with your body if you need to, with your feet, maybe your hands. Keep a slight bend in your knees here so that you'll still have mobility in your hips that may allow you to lift your hips up a little higher, while your hands continue to press firmly into the ground. This is a nice extension through your whole torso. Couple more breaths here. Take a third breath in, fill up your lungs. Exhale, engage your belly, walk, step, or hop both feet back up to the top of your mat. Inhale, extend spine. Exhale, fold. Weights in the heels, bend your knees. We'll inhale, reverse the swan dive, come all the way up. We're going to keep this in motion. As you exhale, take chair pose. We're moving right away into series B. So chair pose right here. Inhale, nice extension out through your arms. Exhale, dive out of your seat, back down towards toes. Inhale, rise up halfway. Exhale, bend your knees, hands to the floor, walk, step, or even hop both of your feet back, plank pose. Just pause here in this straight line. Breathe in. As you exhale, bend your elbows, lower your chest down towards the ground, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog, pressing hands into the floor so you can face forward with your heart. Exhale onto your toes, lifting your hips into the air, returning to downward facing dog. Quick adjustment with hands and feet. Then we'll inhale, extend right leg up behind you, reach long. Exhale, bring right foot up to the top of the mat next to right hand. Turn left heel to the floor. Good pressure in that back foot. Lightness in the hands so you can easily hinge from hips. Rise up facing forward. Warrior one. Inhale. Exhale, we're folding to bring the hands back down to the ground. Let's step back into plank pose. Immediately bend elbows to lower your body down. Inhale, pressing hands into the floor. Straight arms, roll shoulders back, heart forward, up dog. Exhale, tuck toes, lifting hips into the air, downward facing dog. When you're ready, inhale, extend left leg up into the sky. Exhale, let's bring left foot to the top of the mat. Right heel turns to the mat behind you. Again, good pressure back there. Less weight in the hands so you can easily hinge from hips. Rising up, first warrior. Exhale, we'll fold, hinging at the hips. Make your way back down. Plant your hands into the mat. Step back, plank pose. Complete your series. Bend elbows, lower your way down. Inhale, upward facing dog. You can even take cobra pose right there. Exhale, downward facing dog. We'll pause. We're going to make our way down to the ground. So you can just kneel down to take a seat or hop forward, cross your legs and take a seat. Find the center of your mat. Go ahead and roll down onto your back. We're just going to move into a back bend. Just moving into bridge pose. So you're going to lie down.
Keep your feet on the ground here, knees bent, okay? And just lie flat for a moment. Just find this nice connection to the ground. Take a few breaths. You get to relax a little bit before we re-engage the body. And we're ready for bridge pose. First, a nice full breath in, fill up your lungs. Exhale, empty your belly, engaging the belly, using that energy now to lift your hips up into the air. With the upper body, you might rock your upper body left and right a little bit to get your arms, your shoulders mostly underneath you if you can. You might have to rock left and right several times to get your arms underneath you. If you can, squeeze your shoulder blades together to engage your upper back. And for a little bit more stability, bend your arms at 90 degrees so your elbows and triceps are pressing down into the ground. Your fingers are kind of reaching for the ceiling here. But as you press down into the mat with your arms, it might allow you to lift your hips a little higher and even open the chest a little bit more. So you can feel the energy in the body. It's a very active pose as we open the whole front side of the body. 2 more breaths. You're going to wiggle your toes forward a little bit, then extend your arms straight up into the air. That should get your shoulders out from underneath you, and then roll your way down to the ground. Keep the knees bent, feet flat on the ground, but bring your arms down to the floor. We're going to do another pose while we're still here. Bring the feet and legs together, and then opening the legs, meaning the knees just kind of drop open to either side of your mat, and the soles of your feet will be touching. This is just called Supta Baddha Konasana. It just means reclining cobbler's pose or reclining bound angle pose. We typically do this seated, and we will do this seated. We're just lying down. Again, the knees are bent so that the soles of the feet can touch. This opens and releases the inner thighs. If you need a little extra pressure or weight, you can just rest your hands on your inner thighs or knees. You don't have to press really. You can just the simple weight of your hands on your legs create a little bit more opening. All right, just a couple more breaths here. And then go ahead and bring the knees together again. Hug the knees in towards chest. Start to rock forward and back gently. Find your breath. And find a good exhale to help rock your way up to seated so we can come to boat pose. So boat pose, we're going to be sitting up tall initially, perhaps nice straight spine, and lean back, maintaining a nice straightness in the spine. But as you lean back, that'll take the weight off the feet so the feet can just float into the air. I like to flex the feet here just to keep the legs energized. You can hold on to your legs to help maintain the lift and especially the lengthening through the torso. We're still breathing, so breathe in, fill up your lungs. Exhale, engage belly. A couple more times. If you can or want to, you can always release the legs, but holding on is just fine. Then we're going to continue our flow. Let's do it here. We're breathing in. Exhale, cross legs. If you can, roll forward out onto your hands. Hop or step back, plank pose, hold. Let's take a shortcut to down dog. Bend your knees a little, send your hips into the air. There's down dog. Let's continue with the lunge series. Inhale, extend right leg up, reach back. Exhale, right foot to the top of the mat. Left heel turns to the floor. When you're ready, inhale, float your whole body up, warrior 1. And an exhale, opening to the left side of the room, warrior 2. Arms extending out to the side. You've got it. Right knee is bent, lunging forward. Make sure the right knee and toes are pointing forward. Nice, strong, straight left leg with the left foot into the ground. Arms extending. Let's take side angle pose. So reaching out over the right leg to angle the upper half of the body. Rotate your arm so your right arm comes down. Left hand reaching up into the air. Good. Reaching up, reaching down energetically. Now, the wider the stance, you can choose the comfort level that feels right for you, but perhaps the wider the stance that's perfect for you and the nice deep lunge opens the inner thighs, especially on this right leg. Let's breathe in. Exhale, we'll turn towards the floor. Bring your hands down to the mat. Step back, plank pose, another pause right here. Again, another shortcut to down dog. Just bend your knees, send your hips right up into the sky.
When you're ready, inhale, extend left leg up into the air. Exhale, left foot to the top of the mat. Right heel plants into the ground. Inhale, rise up, reaching into the sky. Exhale, opening, warrior two. Make some adjustments with your feet if you need to. Again, a wider stance if that feels fine. Left knee and toes are pointing directly forward. Strong right leg, straight as can be. And the outside edge of the right foot making connection to the ground. And of course, your arms extending. Let's take our side angle pose, reaching out over the left thigh. Angled upper body, rotate your arms so your left arm is reaching down, right hand reaching up. Notice the sensations in your body. Of course, noticing your breath, but also the stretching perhaps in the left inner thigh. Ready to move. Let's breathe in. Exhale, turn, bringing hands down to the floor. Step back into plank pose. This time we'll finish the push-up. Bend your elbows, come down, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Hold for a moment. Nice full breath in. Exhale, walk, step, or hop, both feet up to the top of your mat. Inhale, extend your spine, rising up halfway. Exhale, fold. Weights in the heels, bent knees. Inhale, reverse your swan dive. Come to standing. Reach really high. Exhale, hands down to your heart. Let's hold here for a moment. Nicely done. All right, you can go ahead and relax your arms down by your side. Let's do tree pose. I like tree pose for two reasons. One, it's a balancing pose. It was always good to do some balance, but also it's a nice hip opener here too. So whenever you're ready, start shifting your weight over into your right foot. Press down into the floor with the right foot. As you inhale, feel very tall, lengthening through the spine. Exhale, engage your belly. You're going to float your left foot up, flexing the foot. Maybe your thigh is parallel to the ground. And then we'll swing the knee out to the side, placing foot on the inside of your standing leg. When you're ready, inhale, let's extend the arms up into the air. Reach up. Keep breathing. Good. Now, the more we have energy in the arms reaching into the sky, we get more lift through the torso, which actually opens the hips, which may allow the left knee to point a little bit more towards the left side of the room. Let's keep the arms in the air. Swing that left knee forward, lifting knee with the flexed foot. Plant the foot into the ground. Just go ahead and bring the arms back down by your side. You can shake that out if you want. Just roll your shoulders, a little circular motion with the wrists. Back to mountain pose. And ready for the other side. Shifting weight over into the left foot, press down, strong leg. Inhale, torso long, fill up the lungs. Exhale, engage belly, float right foot up, flexing the foot for strong leg. Swing the knee out to the side. That's the hip opener. Placing foot on the inside of your leg here. Then inhale, when you're ready, take your arms up into the sky. We're going to exhale, engage belly, just to secure your pose. We'll hold here for several breaths. Again, a good action and energy of reaching up. Feel lifted, so your torso feels like it's actually lifting up out of the pelvic bowl, and the right knee pointing more, perhaps, towards the right side of the room. Keep arms extended. We'll swing right knee forward, lifting knee with the flexed foot, and then plant the foot back down into the ground, arms back down by your side. And you can shake that out if you like. Very good. All right, so again, we're putting together this series of hip releases. So that was one of them. We did the Supta Baddha Konasana, that lying down cobbler's pose, and then our tree pose, nice hip openers. Let's continue. Back to mountain pose. Inhale, reach into the sky. Exhale, swan dive. Go at your own pace. Inhale, rise up halfway. Exhale, bent knees, hands to the floor. Walk, step, or hop both feet back. Come right down if you're able. Chaturanga Dandasana, bending your elbows. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Situate yourself here. Adjustments in the feet and hands. Then inhale, extend right leg up. With the leg extended, or the leg in the air, bend your knee. Bring your right heel down towards your backside, lifting the right knee up towards the ceiling. It creates a bit of a twist in the spine, but it's another hip opener. Breathe in. Exhale, unwind, and then step through. Right foot to the top of the mat next to right hand, left heel to the ground behind you. Inhale, rise up, first warrior. Exhale, opening warrior two. Let's keep it moving. Side angle pose, reach out, rotate the arms, getting a little bit more stretch and release in the right inner thigh. We're going to keep this moving. Inhale. Exhale, turn, bring the hands to the floor. We're going right back to down dog. So you're going to sweep your right foot back and right up into the air. So we're in down dog, right leg is extended into the sky once again. Inhale. Exhale, bring right foot to the top of the mat. Good. Let's go to high lunge this time, which means the left heel will remain lifted. All 10 toes are pointing forward. There is a weight shift back, so you're more centered in the hips, so your hands can easily lift, rise up, reach up, and here's our lunge. So as you inhale, reach high. As you exhale, lunge low. Hold for several breaths. To help with the balance of this posture, you may want to feel the inner legs squeezing in towards each other, which will bring you good energy and strength in the legs. Okay, we're going to inhale. Then exhale, open to warrior two. We're going to take this, actually we're going to straighten the right leg and take it to triangle. So reach out over the right leg and then rotate the arm. So just triangle pose. Right hand down, left hand up. Nice stretch for the hamstring here. Since it's all connected, good to find some lengthening in that part of the body. Okay, so we're in this tipped over position, triangle pose. Engage your core. It's just an exhale. Pull belly in because we're just going to lift the torso back up to the original position. Just lifting right back up. So, and what we'll do here, you're going to take the right foot and spin the toes so everything's facing forward. I call this a star shape, okay? Just like this. And what we'll do here, you're going to, actually, if you can see my feet, I'm just kind of spinning my feet out a little bit, like that, so I can bend my knees and actually take this, like in dance, we call this a plie or a grand plie. You're just bending the knees, that's it. Coming down a little bit so you really feel this in the inner thighs, the inner thighs, your thigh muscles working very hard for you here. We're going to come back up, straightening the legs. All right, we're going to drop the left hand, spin forward into a warrior one. So bending the right knee, that back foot, anything you have to do to kind of realign the body to get yourself into a warrior one. Breathe in. Then exhale, bring the hands down to the floor. Step back, plank pose, come down, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. Inhale, extend left leg into the air. Same thing, we'll bend the knee. Bring your heel down towards backside, lifting knee towards the ceiling. A bit of a twist in the spine, hip opener. Breathe in. As we exhale, we'll unwind the leg. Bring left foot to the top of the mat. Right heel turns to the ground, planted firmly. Inhale, float up, warrior one. Exhale, opening warrior two. Right away to side angle, reach out over the left leg, rotate the arms. Left hand down, right hand up. Inhale, we're still in motion. Exhale, turn, bring hands to the floor. We're going right back to down dog. So you're sweeping the left foot back and up into the air. Again, you're in down dog, left leg extended into the sky. Breathe in. Exhale, left foot to the top of the mat, high lunge. Right heel stays lifted, shifting the weight back, finding your center, which is your hip bones. Inhale, float both arms up into the air, high lunge. Exhale, just to lunge deeply. Hug to center line. Imagine you're holding on to like a block or something between the knees and you have to squeeze inward. That will help to engage the legs to help you stabilize the pose. Breathe in. Exhale, reopen to warrior two. Let's set it up for triangle. So straighten the left leg now. Reach out over that left leg that's straight and rotate the arms. Let's just get into that hamstring. Left hand down, right hand up. Good opening. This also affects the hips too, just because of the angle of the upper body.
Wonderful. Now we're going to be coming back up in a moment, so be sure you engage your core muscles, stabilizing the upper body, so you can come back up nice and tall to the original position. Turn the left foot forward so all 10 toes are pointing forward. Spin the toes out, heels in, so it's easy for you to bend the knees, come down to that grand plie. All right, really getting into the legs. Hold for a bit longer if you're able. Then we're going to come back up, straightening the legs again. Going to warrior one. I like to drop the right hand, float both arms up into the air, lunge or bend the left knee. Right foot is at a natural angle there. Warrior one. Breathe in. Exhale, fold. Bring the hands down to the ground. Step back, plank pose. Finish the series, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. All right, we're going to do some work on the floor. So actually just bring the knees down and sit back into hero pose for a moment. Alrighty. Now at the beginning of class I mentioned that we probably don't need blocks. You know what? I think we do need blocks. So if you happen to have blocks or something that would resemble some blocks, actually they will come in handy. So let's have those nearby. So we're in hero pose, but we're going to get out of this in a moment. I just want you to feel kind of this lengthening through the shins and the tops of the ankles. All right? Now you're going to come back up to hands and knees. Tuck your toes. Lift hips, downward facing dog. We're going to take a regular seat here. You're just going to hop forward, cross legs, take a seat, and let's extend the legs out front, just like this. We're going to go into what's called Janu Shirshasana, or head to knee pose. It's another hip opener, actually. So sitting up tall, legs straight initially, you're going to bend the left knee, bring the left foot to the inside of your right inner thigh, kind of like tree pose, okay? But the foot, if you can, bring it to the inner thigh. We'll inhale, extend both arms up into the air. Exhale, hinge at the hips, folding. And then you can just bring the hands down. They can land on the ground. They can be on your shin or knee. So you'll get a hip opener. You also get a hamstring stretch. But because we're folding, this also creates some flexion or stretch in your back as well. So head to knee pose. Not that you have to bring your head all the way down to your knee, it's just kind of the gesture, the progression that we're taking. Go ahead and take 2 more breaths wherever you are. When you're ready, extend both arms forward. Inhale fully to hinge your way back up until you're tall and lengthened through the spine, reaching towards the ceiling. And exhale, just bring the hands down by your side. Excellent. All right, keep the left knee bent, okay? And just match the other. So bring the soles of the feet together. Right knee is bent. So this is bound angle, just the regular version, just sitting up. All right, hold on to your shins or ankles or feet and just sit up tall for a moment. We're going to change this in a second, but just want you to feel kind of the traditional posture. Because we're going to do a little bit more hip release. What you'll do now is bring hands behind you like this and kind of lean back into your hands. As you lean back into your hands, actually press down into the floor. Feel as if you're trying to really lift up through the torso. And what that might do is actually lift the torso a bit up out of the pelvis. Your knees might even drop down a little bit closer to the floor. You can feel this, you can actually engage your upper back by feel shoulders pull back, squeeze shoulder blades together, and even tip your chin up. So this is just another way to open the hips. You can do more if you want by pressing hands into the floor, literally lift your hips up off the ground. That's going to create a little bit more of that stretch and release in the inner thighs. One more breath. If you're in the air, come back down to the seat. All right, let's do Janu on the other side. So extending left leg forward, right foot now on the inside of the left inner thigh. We'll inhale, extend both arms up into the air. Exhale, hinge at the hips, just a little is fine, and then hands can come down. Now, I'm noticing that my right knee, you can't see my knee, but it's not touching the ground. And so what you could do if that's happening for you, maybe bring a block or a pillow and just tuck a block underneath that knee so it's resting there just in case it doesn't touch the ground. And again, we've got a nice hamstring stretch through the left leg, hip opener in the right leg, and some back stretching. Two more breaths. We'll inhale, shoot the arms forward, and then rise up, reach up, re-extending spine nice and tall. Exhale, bring your hands down by your side. Lean back, and we'll match the right leg. So by bending the left knee, bring the feet together. Just for a moment. We're not going to lean back here. We're actually going to get ready for boat pose. You might want to scoot the feet forward a little bit. Bring the knees up and together, lean back so you can lift the feet, and this should put you into boat. Nice energized feet, strong legs. Hold on to the legs if you need to. Breathe in. Exhale, cross legs, hands in front if you can. Hop or step back, plank pose. Hold, strong straight line. Take a shortcut to down dog. Just bend the knees, hips into the air. Follow me. We're going to inhale, extend right leg up. Exhale, right foot to the top of the mat. Stay here in this runner's lunge. Right here, hands on the floor. Gently bring left knee to the ground. Stay here for a second. Now what we'll do is actually we're going to be sitting back towards that left heel like we do in Hero, but the right leg is going to be extended. This is where a block or a pillow could come in handy. Watch. I'm going to sit back, and I can usually actually use that block to sit on as I sit back, just like this. It'll take some of the pressure off that front knee or that left knee. We're not going to be here too long. You can even do a slight fold here to get a little bit more of that hamstring stretch in the right leg. But we're going to change this. I'm going to move my block, sit off to the right side, really lean because I'm going to take this left leg, swing it around, and bring it back to Janu Shirshasana. And just take a quick fold. We're not going to be here too long. Just folding. Come back up. Hands behind you. Match the feet. Lifting hips if you want to do this version of the hip opener. Sit back down. Boat pose. Knees together, lifting feet. Inhale. Exhale, cross legs, hands out in front. Back to plank pose. Let's take another shortcut down dog. Bend the knees, hips into the air. Let's do that same thing other side. So it's an inhale to extend left leg up. Exhale, left foot to the top of the mat. Left foot to the top of the mat. Stay in runner's lunge. Gently bring right knee to the ground. We're going to sit back. We're just going to call this half splits. Half splits. Sitting back, if you need that block to sit on, use the block. Sitting back so we get a hamstring stretch on left leg. And shin and ankle release like hero pose on the right side. And you can hinge forward a little bit here. Then sliding off to left side. Really lean to the left so you can bring the right leg around. Janu Shirshasana. Right foot to inner thigh. Hinge forward. Again, we're not going to be here too long because we've just done this pose. We're going to come back up, hands behind you. Cobbler's pose. You can just lean back. You can add the hip lift if you want. Take a seat. Boat pose. So that's going to be part of our hip release series. Let's breathe in boat. Exhale, cross legs, hands in front. You can step back, plank pose. Let's complete the series with chaturanga, coming down. Up dog and downward facing dog. All right, let's take another little break here. I want you to watch. So you can just take a seat just take a regular seat. So you can just sit and just watch me. Okay, you can get some water if you want to, because I'm going to show you this next little segment. Okay, and again, blocks, a block or two blocks can come in handy. So I'm going to have my blocks nearby so you can see how you might be able to use the blocks in this next little part. Okay, so we're going to be moving into what's called garland pose. Garland, actually a partial part of that pose, garland. And it's a nice hip opener. Sometimes I like to call it yogi squat, and you'll see why. So I'm going to come to down dog. Just watch me. So I'm in down dog. I'm going to exhale and hop forward, landing with my feet wide on my mat, feet turned out, bending my knees and actually dropping my hips like I'm going to sit down. I'll show you. Exhaling, hopping forward, landing with feet wide, toes turned out, bending the knees, sitting down. So this is the yogi squat. I'm going to turn towards you. So it kind of looks like this. So I'm just really deep in this squat, okay? Now if you feel like you can't balance in this pose, this is where your blocks can come in handy. So you can actually just sit on the blocks just to help you balance, okay? Something like this. And so what's going to happen here is that arms are going to be on the inner legs, kind of pushing the legs open. That's the hip opener. And then hands together in prayer at heart center. And it's a great hip release right here. Now, if this is too deep of a pose and it doesn't work well in your hips or your knees, you can even do this more in a lifted style. Maybe something like this, kind of like a huddle in a football team. Still, you want the arms to push against the legs, hands together in prayer. So this could be an alternative. Okay, so let's give that a shot. So let's all come to downward facing dog. So we're going to hop into our yogi squat. Take a couple breaths in down dog. A nice full breath in. As you exhale, hop forward, landing with your feet wide on your mat, toes turned out, bent knees, dropping hips down as low as you can go, sitting on the blocks if you need that balance. All right, then your arms pressing against the inner legs. Push them out, hands together in prayer pose. Let's hold here for several breaths. You probably feel this release and stretch. This is great for your hips and pelvis. Several more breaths. I'm going to give you an option on how to get out of this pose. You can follow me or even just watch for a moment. What I'm going to do is going to separate the hands, bring the hands to the ground out in front of me. And I'm just kind of pushing myself forward. So I'm landing on my hands, weights in the hands. I'm rising up on my tiptoes so the heels are lifting and I'm tipping forward. We're moving into crow pose. Now at the moment my feet are still on the ground. You can do this too, keeping the feet on the ground. Or if you can and want to do crow, keep pushing forward, head goes down, hips go up, and you might be able to lift your feet off the ground right there. Then we're going to place the feet back down, but then step both feet back into plank pose. All right, so if you're in our yogi squat, let's try that. So yogi squat. Hands to the floor, lean forward into your hands, lifting heels. So this could be the end of the pose here, or proceed into the arm balance, crow, if you want, just for a second or two. Bring the feet back down, step both feet back, plank pose, and then chaturanga. Up dog, downward facing dog. Let's go back to a standing position. Walk, step, or hop. Both feet to the top of the mat. Stay on your feet. Inhale, rise up halfway. Exhale, fold. Weights in the heels, bent knees. Let's inhale, reverse swan dive. Come to standing, reach all the way up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Very nice. Let's start putting our series together. We're almost done with putting all those components together. Let's come back to our balancing position, tree pose. Weights in the right foot, root down. Stand tall. Lengthen spine, inhale. Exhale, engage belly. Float left foot up. Swing the knee out to the side, plug it in. Inhale, arms up into the air. Reach high so we can get that hip opener. Couple breaths. Keep reaching, swing knee forward, lifting the knee with the flexed foot, plant the foot down, arms back down by your side. As you're able, immediately into the other side, weights in the left foot. Tall, lengthened spine, core engaged, floating right foot up, swinging knee out, plug it in. Good. Inhale, float the arms into the sky. Exhale, engage your belly. Good. Let's keep arms extended. Swing right knee forward, lifting knee with the flexed foot. Plant the foot down, arms back down by your side. All right, let's flow. We're going to inhale, take both arms up. Exhale, take chair pose. Breathe in. Nice extension through upper body. Exhale, dive out of your seat, down towards toes, forward fold. Inhale, rise up halfway. Exhale, hands to the floor. Walk, step, or hop both feet back. Plank, come down, bending elbows. Lower your chest to the floor. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, extend right leg up, bend and twist. Heel comes down, lifting the knee to get the hip opener. Exhale, unwind, step right foot to the top of the mat, left heel to the ground. We're going to Warrior One. I call this a basic flow. Rise up, Warrior One. Exhale, open, Warrior Two. Let's take side angle. Rotate the arms. Breathe in, reach high and low. Exhale, turn, hands to the floor. Take it back, down dog. Sweeping right foot back and up into the air. Right away, right foot returns to the top of the mat. High lunge. Rising when you're ready. High lunge, find it, feel it. Opening, Warrior Two. Okay, we're straightening the right leg. We're not going to do triangle though, but swing the right foot forward. But spin the toes out a little bit there. We're going to our ground plie, coming down. This is going to change into Warrior One. So dropping left arm, swinging the arms up into the air. Actually, high lunge if you can. High lunge again. Reaching. So you're on your toes behind you, and you're going to bring the left knee down to the ground. Flatten the left foot, and we're going to sit back to our half splits right here and take a fold as you're able. Sliding off or shifting off to right side, so we can swing left leg around to the front here. Janu Shirshasana, left foot to inner right thigh, folding again. Just getting those hamstrings lengthened here. We're going to rise back up, hands behind you, so we can come to our cobbler's pose. You might need to resit or just kind of shift the hips onto the center of your mat. You can just lean back, open up through the chest and hips, lifting hips if you want. Then lower the hips, boat pose. Breathe in. Exhale, cross legs, hands out in front. Step back, plank. Bend knees, hips to sky, down dog. Okay, now we're going to that yogi squat again. Exhale, hop forward, landing with feet wide, knees bent. Dropping hips, here we are. Arms are on the inner legs, push them open. Palms together, heart space. Breathe. And then your crow pose. That can simply mean bringing your hands to the floor, leaning forward into the hands. So your elbows really bend, your legs will rest almost heavily on the legs, and just lift the heels. That can be your crow pose, unless you want to do the entire posture. Then step both feet back into plank, come down, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog, downward facing dog. So that's our whole series. Let's do the other side. Inhale, extend left leg into the air, bend and twist. Exhale, unwind it, step through Warrior One, back to our basic flow. Right heel turns to the ground, rise up. Exhale, open, Warrior Two. Right away, side angle, reach out, tip it over. Left hand down, right hand up. If your left arm is braced on the left inner thigh, that's our hip release. Inhale.
Exhale, turn, hands to the floor, back to down dog. Sweep the left foot back and up into the air. Inhale. Exhale, left foot to the top of the mat, high lunge. Find that center so you can float your arms up into the air. Hold for a second, engage the inner legs. We're going to reopen to warrior two. Straighten the left leg. Turn the left foot, maybe just keep it at an angle, match it with the right foot. So we can get into our grand plie. Okay, and get into the legs. Okay, high lunge again. Right arm will drop, kind of spinning the right knee forward up onto the toes, heel lifted. Return to the high lunge here. Reach high, but then gently bring right knee down to the ground. Flatten the right foot, sit back, half splits. Okay, slight fold to get into the left hamstring. Sit off to left side so we can bring right leg around. Janu Shirshasana, fold, so it's hip opener and hamstring stretch. Rise up, hands behind you, bring feet together. You can reposition your seat if you need to. Opening the hips, maybe lifting the hips, a little back bend version to open. Take a seat, boat pose. Breathing in, exhale, cross legs, hands in front, step back into plank pose. Take a shortcut to down dog. Let's do our yogi squat again. So hopping forward, landing with feet wide, toes turned out. Bent knees, drop the hips. Arms on inner legs, press. Hands to heart. Let's hold here a little longer. So that is our hip release series. All right, crow pose, your variation. Hands in front onto the floor. Lean forward, let the elbows bend, legs rest against your triceps. Maybe lifting the feet if you can for your crow pose. Setting the toes back down, stepping back, plank pose. Complete the series, chaturanga. Up dog and downward facing dog. Hold for a moment. Okay, we're going to take a seat. You can just kneel down to take a seat or hop forward, cross your legs and take a seat. I'm just going to adjust my mat. We're going to lie down on our backs. Go ahead and lie down. Go ahead and bring both knees to chest here. And maybe a little massage. I like to do some circles with the legs here just to get into low back and hips. Maybe circle clockwise and then counterclockwise. Okay, we're going to do one more hip opener. We're going to do happy baby pose, but one leg at a time. So first, go ahead and extend the left leg out and down onto the ground. Keep hugging in right knee. And then we're going to send the right foot, the bottom of the foot, towards the ceiling so you can grab hold of the bottom of the foot if you can reach it, or just hold on to your ankle. It's just happy baby pose, but we're just doing one leg at a time. And just that gentle press. And you might find, because we're only doing one leg at a time, that you can get a little deeper into the stretch, a little deeper into the hip. You may want to flex the left foot just to keep that leg stabilized and energized. It'll keep you kind of square and aligned in this pose as well. So getting this nice stretch on the right side, couple more breaths. All right, stay in this half happy baby pose for a moment. Bend the left knee, keeping the left foot on the ground. Then cross right ankle over left thigh. You need to see me, this is what it looks like. You're just crossing right ankle over left thigh like this. So one more, another hip release. So what you'll do is actually lift the left foot off the ground, bringing both legs toward yourself. And then take your right hand, this is called eye of the needle. So take your right hand and just thread the needle. Okay, and through that little space there, use your hands, both hands, and just maybe clasp your fingers around your left shin, or hold on to your left hamstring. Okay, this will get into the right inner thigh, but you might feel this a little bit more in the outer hip
and the glute area. 3 more breaths. And when you're complete, we'll just set the left foot back down onto the ground, uncross the legs, and both feet still on the ground for a moment. Let everything just kind of settle here for a moment. Feel your low back kind of melt into the ground. And then we'll do half happy baby on the other side. So start by extending the right leg onto the ground, flexing the foot, hug left knee into chest. And then when you're ready, foot towards the ceiling, grab hold of the bottom of the foot or grab hold of your ankle. Right into your pose. Some nice deep breaths here. And again, just doing one leg at a time really allows us, I think, to get a little deeper into this hip stretch. All right, 2 more breaths. We'll get set up for Eye of the Needle pose. All right, keep that happy baby position, but bend the right knee, planting the foot into the ground, and then cross left ankle over right thigh. It kind of looks like the number 4 a little bit here. And then lifting right foot off the ground, bringing both legs toward yourself. Thread the needle, so your left hand and arm will thread the eye of the needle, clasping or holding on to right shin or hamstring. And then you can kind of gauge how deep you want this pose, how much sensation you want to create. Of course, the closer you bring the legs to your chest, maybe the deeper the stretch. If you need less, then release. Even bringing the right foot back down to the ground if you need to. Deep breaths. And let's take 2 more breaths. And then same thing, we'll release, we'll bring right foot back down to the ground, uncross the legs, both feet on the ground, knees bent, hold. Let's go back to our Supta Baddha Konasana, or our reclining bound angle pose. We did this earlier. Bring the legs together, and then drop the knees down to either side of the mat, soles of the feet touch, and just hold here. Just allowing gravity to do the work here, just the heaviness of the legs being drawn down towards the ground creates that lengthening and stretch quality in the inner thighs. We're going to finish with a twist. So whenever you're ready, you can hold here as long as you'd like. You don't have to do the twist, but if you want to join me, bring the legs together, hug them in towards the body, and then take both knees over to the left side of the room as you extend your right arm to the right side. Spinal twist. And 2 more breaths on this first side. When you're ready, go ahead and bring knees back up to center. Hug both knees towards chest, just a light hug, just allowing the body to realign, and then taking knees to the other side when you're ready. And maybe 3 more breaths. Whenever you feel complete on this side, we'll come back up to center. Hug the knees in gently. And we'll take a few minutes now in Shavasana, extending your legs out in front, arms relaxed down by your side, and just settling in, relaxing completely. Close your eyes if you'd like, or just keep your gaze upward. Noticing the breath. Settling in, and maybe your thoughts, if you happen to be thinking, just maybe thinking about your practice, all the hip releasing postures that we practice together. You might even think about your intention if you set an intention for your practice. Bring that to your mind. Or maybe you're working on releasing all thought. Just settling in, being in the moment, and just noticing the sensation of breath. You're welcome to stay here as long as you'd like. Even as I close the practice, you're welcome to stay right here. Continue your relaxation and meditation. When you're ready to move, rather than moving the body too quickly, start with some deep breaths, maybe 5 slow, deep breaths in and out. Preparing your body to move. And when you are ready, take your time, move in slow motion. You might roll onto either side of your body, making your way to a nurturing pose. Even pause here for a moment if you like. And continuing to move in slow motion, rise up and come to a seated position. Sitting up nice and tall with an extended spine. Your arms just relax down by your side. Your hands can rest in your lap or on your knees. Notice your breath. Then inhale, extend your arms up into the air, reach high. And exhale, bring your hands together and down to your heart. Hold here in stillness, focusing on your breath. And as we come to the close of this portion of our journey together, we bow saying, Namaste.